Hey guys, welcome to another class hosted live on the Real Estate Hub Discord server. If you would like to attend any of our classes live, feel free to join the Real Estate Hub using the link in the description. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow at ActuallyAgents on all socials to stay up to date on all the fantastic events and classes we're hosting. Ricky, can you hear me, bud?
Yeah, yeah. How can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can hear
Cool.
you fine, man. Well, welcome to the Real Estate Hub, brother. We've been meaning to
Oh
have you
no,
here.
man. No, good to be here, bro. My all this hard work's finally paying off, man. I'm on the big stage.
Exactly, bro. Well, no, you just spoke at you were just speaking in Vegas, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How'd that go, man?
That actually was the big stage. That was the first time I was on like a real stage with like huge videos behind me with me on the video. Like it was cameras flying around. That was the first really big stage.
Yeah.
It felt good. It felt really good. I
They
kind of
had the
felt
strobe
at
lights going.
yeah, yeah. Came out with smoke and stuff. It was pretty cool. No, it was good, man. It was like like I imagine myself being on these really massive stages at some point, and I'm just paying my dues at this point. So
Oh yeah, man.
uh,
Well, let
I
me
I just I feel blessed. Any opportunity I get, man, to do anything, man. Like honestly, it was like okay, 8 o'clock in the morning in Vegas, right? And it's just like okay, who's gonna wake up at that early? I didn't care. A lot of people would probably get mad about that, especially where I am and stuff. But I look at it as like I still got something to prove. You know, um, I don't need to start playing the entitlement card over here, bro. I'm still grinding, I'm still grateful for every little thing I get.
and I see that, bro, online. You're still closing 100 deals a year, right?
Honestly, I think this year I'm going to hit 80. I need to look and see where I am right this second, but I've given away a lot of business to my dad and other agents, just because, man, I'm in a different place. I've been doing this
Mhm.
20 years, and yeah, 80 is still a lot. I went to a listing appointment today. I went to a listing appointment yesterday. I'm closing two deals Friday. I got a listing appointment Saturday. So I'm still in it, but man, we were talking before the thing. I've got my hands in so many different things, and I'm blessed and I'm grateful. But I'm like honestly, bro, I'm in this weird place where I've hit this spot professionally where it's like what is next, bro? Because I feel like I walk off every stage, leaving my audience thinking, okay, great, relationships over transactions. You close 100 deals. You're a free coach. Closings happen every day. We get it. But what now? What do we do to take that and make our dreams come true, right? And what's the next chapter in your story, Ricky? And I feel like it's like this movie that's playing that everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen next. Now it's my move. That's kind of where I'm at. Like I got into coaching because I was bored with real estate. Now I'm getting to the point where like every day feels like I'm coaching calls, I'm doing Zooms, I'm doing podcasts, I'm going listing appointments, I'm closing deals, I go to sleep and do the same shit every day. And I love it. Like I'm in it. Like I love it. I'm helping people, helping agents, helping clients. But at the same time, I'm right back where I was back in 2017 when I wrote those two books. And I'm thinking, what is next, man? I feel like I've climbed this mountain and, that's just how I am. And honestly, I probably beat this dead horse long enough. Same thing. Like I waited till I had 30 before I hired an assistant. I waited till I closed 100 deals a year for 3 years before writing a book or thinking I even had the audacity to tell somebody else how to do something. So I'm kind of that's my MO, and I hide behind that MO because like I'm realizing now that that MO is a place of like complacency, right? That I'm like, I get to a place and now I feel complacent. Now I'm like leaning back and kind of riding out the platform that I built, riding out the business that I built. And I feel like I'm not growing, um, like personal development. I've hit that little place and now I'm fixing to unleash some shit, dude. I'm dead serious about the fact that I'm in a role that I've never been in, and it's a role of leadership that I've never had to be, and I haven't taken it serious to the level that I need to in regards to my responsibility to the industry, and so you're catching me at a moment, you know what I mean, during this Discord where I'm in deep thought about all this, and that there's something deeper there. And when I unleash wherever this is going, it's going to be massive, right? So I'm on some deeper stuff right now.
Yeah, man. Do you ever turn off, Ricky, or you're just going 24/7? I mean,
I'm
aside
pretty
from
much
sleeping.
I pretty much go 24/7. I knock off at 5. I knock off on the weekends. And do my thing with my family and just like cherish every second. But there's like a piece in the back of my mind that I can't turn off, honestly. And I ignore it. I ignore it the best I can, but there's this little thing back there that's like, there's more work to do. There's more potential to unleash, Um, I don't know, man. Like I'm definitely in a place where I don't feel complete peace because um, there's so much work to be done in the industry, and there's so much that needs to be said, and there's so many people that needs to hear certain things. But I've got to get to a place where I feel peace. And
Yeah.
that's where I want to work on myself. Because like I'm developing into a new person every day with these new roles that I'm partaking in. Dude, this, like I said, man, this is just serious stuff, man. This is industry. This is legacy stuff. This is, generational. This is not, nothing to be taken lightly. And I feel like honestly, I've taken stuff a little lightly, and I'm just kind of like I don't have like a 5-year goal. Like I just work as hard as I can work, knowing that great things are going to happen. That's how I've always operated because I couldn't tell you 5 years ago that I was going to be where I'm going to be right now. There's no way I could have predicted like as far as I've come. There's no way. So 5 years ago, if I'd have made this goal to be where I am now, I would have laughed at you, right? And so for me to say where I'm going to be in 5 years, that dude, there's no telling where I'm going to be in 5 years. I can't even make that bet. But my thing is, I've always been a gut player. Go with my gut wherever I say, wherever I feel, and it's time to grow out of that for me. A lot of people say, well, dude, look where you are. You got it made. You this, you that, you the other. And I think, yeah, and it's awesome. And I'm so grateful for every little thing that's happened and all the work that I put into making it happen. But you guys got to understand, man, that that 10 years is going to go by in a snap of a finger, and you're not even going to be able to and you can't go back. And so when I look at the next 10 years and I think about 50 years old, and I think about looking back at 50 and realizing that I missed out on opportunity, that I could have really shook up the industry and really made a dent and really made a difference, and I dropped the ball because I just kept telling my same story that always ended the same way, right? and
Hmm.
and 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 preach that, this screaming at people, just do it, push through it. That's awesome. Okay, but it's played out, and I'm not talking about me. I'm talking Robbins. I'm talking about all those motivational speakers. When he came out, this stuff wasn't around, and it went big. And now you've got the spinoff of all the other guys that are making a name for themselves in that same parameter. And I want to take it, I just want to go to another level, higher than those, higher than, and it's not even about like, oh, me, Ricky, and put me on a pedestal. I'm trying to figure out how I can have what my next chapter is in order to connect the dots for how you guys can use my story to fulfill your dreams, right? I want to make it about you. I want to make it about my audience. I want to make it about them, not about look at Ricky. I want to make it about look at you, and so that's the next level for me. It's been about I sell 100 properties, I do this, I do that, I'm a free coach, for so long, and it's great because I built this incredible platform, but it's time to take this to another level. And the next level is how can I use this and my next chapter to really enrich the industry and other agents to say, oh, well, look at Ricky, look at the pain he went through for us to get here, to tell us what not to do. If he can do it, I can do it, you know? So again, I'm in a deeper, I'm trying to be a much deeper thinker, around the things that really matter, and try to get to a place of peace and try to get to a place of peace with all this, because I just feel so responsible when I see so much garbage happening in the coaching space. Um, and I just feel like, Superman trying to swoop in and combat, what's happening out there. It's the wild, wild west, you know?
So to that point, Ricky, do you think that there's a problem with mainstream coaching, paid coaching, where they're not able to have the candidness and openness that you are, because you just shared with us that you have your own struggles, and problems you're going through, and I feel like a lot of these paid coaches uh, would never admit something like that. They almost
Mhm.
feel like they have to have the answers because
Yeah,
otherwise they can't justify their money. Do you think your free coaching offers you, some liberty in that regard to really be
yeah.
genuinely you?
It's very liberating because, when I went free, that was part of the issue was, okay, like, and realize like when I went to free, I had 200 agents paying me a total of about 10,000 a month coming in, and I just cut that off. And part of the thought process for me was it was hard for me to sleep at night for many reasons. One was, okay, I've got content here that is hidden from the public that people are paying for, but it got leaked out into the public. Now the people that are paying are reaching out to me saying, "What the hell?"
Mm,
Right? It's like I have to lock up content and not tell people certain things. I felt like in public, for the public, I was saying one thing and then saying, well, I was saying half a sentence and then, oh, okay, if you want to hear the rest of the sentence, you got to go pay. And then I'll tell you the rest of the sentence. It felt horrible that I couldn't just let everything out. And that was part of that decision, was the fact that I wanted to just be completely transparent with everything and not worry about who's paying, who's not paying. Can I tell this person that? Can I tell that person this? That was a big part of it. On top of the fact that, I realized that it was a hugely contradictive situation that I was in, where I'm charging agents. I'm telling them, hey, it's not about the money, it's about relationships. But I'm like, pay me,
yeah.
even though it's about relationships. So it's very contradictive, and it ate at me, to the point where I was like, I'm done with this, because when I look at the page, a lot of now, let's just clarify. There's a lot of really great paid coaches out there, that really know their stuff and are great business organizers and prospectors and people in general. And I know a lot of them that I have mad respect for, but there's so many out there. And when you look at how they close you on their coaching program, it's the same strategies that they're teaching you to close your real estate clients with. Um, it's like it goes hand in hand. They're using the same tactics on you as they're going to teach you to use on your prospects. And so when you're talking to a paid coach or one of their salespeople, and you feel like you're getting sold here, well, that's how you're going to start making your clients feel if you use their coaching program. And it just didn't add up for me, like me charging agents and then telling them it's not about the deal, it's not about the money, it's not about the deal. It didn't add up. But you're right, and that's cool that you spotted that through this conversation, that the liberation of saying, you know what, here's everything, guys. You guys just take this, go crush it, and I can sleep at night. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, well, it's a listen, this Discord is a page that I've taken from your book a little bit. And while we were vacillating, throwing around the ideas of paywalling it, the end decision was, why box anybody out, right? There's so much more value we can get from just having the community of people, which I'm sure you operate in the same way. I mean, there's money for you to be made in your ecosystem that's not directly tied to the real estate coaching, right?
People like, they don't understand the power of human capital. They look at bottom line tax returns, profit loss, earnings per share. They don't take into account how much the actual brand is worth, how much the human capital and resources that are at your fingertips based on your community that you build, and how incredibly valuable, monetarily speaking, that is. It's massive. It's massively more valuable than money itself, honestly. And you know, like for the free coaching, it was like data, and I was seeing, okay, 300 people would sign up for a webinar, 100 would show up, and like one or two would sign up. And look, I'll take that one on the chin that maybe I didn't deliver the right way to just make people close. But honestly, that's not what I was in the business to do. I was like a wannabe webinar closer. And so I was really bad at it. But at the same time, look at the metrics. 300 people wanted help. 100 really wanted help. They showed up, but one or two actually decided to move forward and learn more about what I had to offer. I look at that scenario and I say, wait a minute, why can I not try to help all 300 of these people? How can I help all 300, not just the 100 that showed up, not just the two that signed up? How do I create a scenario where all 300 get the value? And not only that, but now love me because of the value that I brought them. When I go to speak, I ask the audience, and of course, it's audience of Ricky fans and people that have been following me for a long time. And I say, hey, how many of you in this room would, if given the opportunity, do business with me? And every single person raises their hand. And I say, how many people have I charged a dime to for anything concerning coaching, information, etc.? No one. And so you think about the fact that everyone in that room said, I'll do business. I would love to do business with you if I have the opportunity to do business with you. But yet I've never charged them a dime for anything. And so if real estate agents can understand what I did there, right, and create the same scenario in their local market, how can you create a scenario where everyone is dying to do business with you, buying and selling properties? However, all you did was bring them value. You didn't charge them. Like, there's been people over the years that said you should charge $1 a month for your weekly email that you send to your clients. Like, your client should pay you $1 a month or $5 a month or something like that. People will come at me with that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That would kill my entire business. That would just crush everything that I'm doing. That's like, bro, like, I turned off Facebook ad revenue a couple months ago. Like, I was doing 5 or 10K a month. Cut it off. Why? because I want a better experience for my my subscribers, but two, I got dipshits on there talking about their coaching program and all their crap. Um, so here I am sacrificing money back into that's an investment. I see that as an investment back into the industry,
That
right?
was a class move, by the way. I remember that YouTube video.
These
And I
these these,
remember watching it. I'm like, only Ricky Carruth. Only
these,
Ricky Carruth could lose $100,000 and turn it
these
into like such an inspiring thing.
these events that I'm doing, free to agents. There were two of the seven events. I had zero sponsors, paid 5 or 10 grand out of my pocket, flew up to Charleston and Salt Lake. Those were the two I had zero sponsors for, paid for the whole thing, venue, the whole 9 yards, videoing, all of it. My travel expenses, paid for it all to have agents come into a room and let me see what I can do to help them and share my story and answer questions and stuff. Right. So, like, for me, that human capital is worth so much more than the five or $10,000 that I didn't really lose. I invested. It's an investment.
Yep.
Right. So I don't know. I feel like I'm a pioneer in the space of real estate in terms of this. Gary Vee, I feel like, is one of the first pioneers to do this type of thing on a big scale. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna do a debate on Instagram with the broke agent and Matt and this guy named Byron. You know Byron?
Byron Laz.
Yeah,
Lazine.
Byron. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
So Byron reaches out to me and says, "Hey, we want to do a debate with you about paid coaches versus free coaching."
Who are you
And
debating?
what's that?
Who's the paid coach?
And that was one of my questions, right? But Byron is the one I guess I'm debating, and Matt and the broke agent, what's his name?
Oh, Eric?
Eric. They're gonna
Yeah, we got.
moderate. They're gonna moderate it.
Is this
Right?
happening next Wednesday for their Wednesday live?
See what next Wednesday is.
Yeah, find out because I'll be there. They host a live every Wednesday. I have them
It'll
coming
be it'll be
actually.
it'll be it'll be Tuesday the 30th.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I got three Tom Ferry lovers that don't that it's three against one. I mean, I'm sure they love me or whatever. Like, I'm sure it's not like that, but I don't know what I'm walking into, right?
Yeah.
Do I care? You know what I'm saying? Like, I immediately was like, yeah, I'd love to hear
Yeah.
what this conversation. I'd love to hear what direction you guys are going to take on this. How it seems how you're reaching out to me, right, to set this up. I'd love to see what you guys' angle is on this. It's gonna be interesting.
Well,
I'm excited to hear.
Ricky, I think it goes back to again you being a free coach, and your philosophy towards how you're structuring your business. It offers you, kind of like you were saying, an ease of mind, right? Because me and you did how much prep for this? A 5-minute phone call like 3
Hmm.
weeks ago and a mic test 5 minutes ago. Um, but not concerned at all because, I'm the type of guy and you're the type of guy where there's not a facade built up about how we have
Right.
to act, how we have to
Exactly.
how we have to portray ourselves, what philosophies we need to get, through the minds of our it's nothing, man. It's just us, right?
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna get. And so I saw you jump to come here and I thank you a lot, but I have no doubt that you'll probably sweep the floor in any sort of Instagram live debate. Because you
Yeah.
can just be yourself, bro. Like,
Oh,
what are you arguing
yeah.
for? You're arguing for Ricky Carruth.
I
Okay, and
don't. Yeah, and I
what's
don't.
there
I
against
I
that?
don't.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's like they have nothing to gain there. They've got more followers than I do, so it's I'm interested. So you guys tune in for that. I think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think there's any malicious stuff going on. I think it's going to
Oh,
be fun.
no, no, not at all. It's gonna be
Yeah, I think
fun.
it's
Those are all a
yeah,
good group of guys.
Yeah, but
But but I know a lot of people can get, I mean, I'm sure you come across it with agents. I know you come across it because I listened to your stuff, and I was in the zero to diamond towards the tail end of my residential career. Um, but there's agents who have these fears of just of anything, public speaking, cold calling. I mean, you could probably factor cold calling as a
mhm,
part of public speaking, even just going
yeah.
out and talking to strangers in a coffee shop. What would you say to that person who's, I guess, kind of an introvert in an extrovert's industry? How do they overcome that?
Well, I was the same way. I mean, I'm introvert, and when I'm in public, when I go to grocery stores, I don't want anybody to know I'm in real estate, right? I'm in here trying to get groceries. I don't want to talk to anyone about selling their house. That's what I do during working hours. That's what I'm prospecting about. It's like when you do something all day, you don't want to come home and do it, kind of deal.
Yeah,
But and that's just me. Like if I'm at a party, I'm not trying to like, there's been so many times like, a friend of mine or my mom or something, we're like at a party, Christmas party or somewhere out in public or networking event. And, somebody will say something about, to somebody about, oh, I'm thinking about buying or selling something. And I'll hear Ricky across the room. And I'm like, oh shit, please tell me they're not telling them I'm a real estate agent and I can help them do their deal and all this stuff, because I'm introverted. And so what you got to understand is that like this is your job. Your job, what you signed up for is to help people. This whole job, dude, the whole real estate career for an agent is the whole premise of it is to talk to people you don't know, right? To help them buy or sell real estate, right? That's it. That's your job. And so you're telling me the one thing that this career is built on, you're scared to do, and you signed up and spent money for a class and did everything you could do to get set up and spent all this money to get to the point, and then now you don't want to do what you signed up to do. It's mind blowing, bro. It's just mind blowing. And like I understand the nervousness of possibly making first time, and I'm completely empathetic to that part. What I'm not empathetic towards is not doing it and allowing that nervousness or lack of understanding or assuming what the outcome could be or whatever it is stop you from accomplishing your goal, guys. You've got to have your eyes on the target, and you've got to go hit that thing. And if for me, it was always like, am I going to go home tonight and look at my family in the eyes, right? And say, I gave it all I had to provide the best life for you. Knowing in the back of my mind, I'm lying because I didn't make calls because I was a little uncomfortable. It's just super selfish, and what it is it's people are unwillingness to grow as humans. You've got to stretch. If you want to do anything, you've got to stretch and you got to take risks, and until you're willing to take those risks and stretch yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to stay right where you are, and if you're in a position where you just got out of, you know, uh, a job that you're flipping burgers or serving tables or roofing houses or something like that, you're going to stay there, you know no matter where you run to in real estate. You can run to Zillow, you can run to postcards, you can run to Facebook, you can run to Fear of Influence, open houses, you can run to all these places, but at the end of the day, the only thing between you and a closing is a real live conversation with someone. When you get that Zillow lead, you got to call them. You get that Facebook lead, you got to call them right then, or nothing's going to happen. So, it's crazy to me the people that try to avoid making calls by spending thousands of dollars on leads just to turn right around and call them.
yeah.
Right? It blows my mind, So,
Well, that's one of the
dude,
things you said, or I caught you saying, earlier on of me getting to know Ricky Carruth, before we ever spoke or anything. That's what really drove it home for me because, we were in a brokerage and we were spending thousands of dollars a month on leads. And then you said that line at the end of the day, you're making a cold call, whether that lead cost you 80 cents or, $800, you're going to have to call a
Yeah.
stranger, right? And that was a
Here-
huge light bulb click in my head,
yeah.
right?
The thing is that when you look at your 5-year goal as a real estate agent, and let's just say it's to sell 100 properties and make $1 million in commissions, okay? What you have to realize are the thousands of one-on-one conversations you have to have with people in your market between now and that 5-year mark to reach that goal. And every day when you wake up, the goal needs to be to chip away at that number. And you don't know how many thousands. It could be 3,000, 5,000, 8,000. I don't know how many one-on-one conversations. Everybody's different. Everybody has different, communication skills and gift of gab and, scripts and this, that, and the other tones and comfortability and calmness. They everybody communicates differently, and you're going to connect with some people are going to connect with more people than others, and this, that, and the other. But it's thousands of one-on-one conversations that you have to reach your goals. I don't care how you have the conversations, but there's no way around that. Okay, that's the one thing about real estate. It's such a sweat equity business. You can't just buy your way into market share. You've got to have all those, even if you did spend tons of money on marketing and Zillow and did all this stuff on social, that's all just to collect data to turn right around and call, no matter
Yep.
what you do. So for me, when I see that the common denominator of all closings is a real life conversation, and that's the nucleus of every closing, okay, I'm the killer in me is saying, how can I beeline it right straight to conversations? What you guys are doing is you're spending money on stuff and spending time and energy on things other than calls. All that's doing is prolonging the call.
Mhm.
For me, it's like, I'm not going to spend money on social or do open houses or buy Zillow leads. I'm just going to get owners for pennies of the exact properties I want to sell. And I'm just going to go ahead and call them. I'm going to beeline it straight to the conversation. Let's hit this thing head on and see what I to help them. I like to think of it as, I'm a volunteer worker doing community outreach to see what I can do to use my services as a real estate agent to help people. If you look in your MLS, there's so many closings every day, and they're going to close every day forever, no matter what the market does. And that's an MLS. That's not counting the county records of the for sale by owners and the off market deals. This is MLS, people that used agents. There's such a high demand for real estate agents. Why do you think there are millions of agents? Because there's such high demand. People need agents. And if you're not doing everything you can do every day to reach out to the community to see who needs your services today, and if not now, can we build a relationship for later, put them in your database, build your brand, right? That's how you're going to find freedom in the business. If you're not doing that, I don't know what you are doing, to be honest with you. People are like, well, we're not really making calls. And I'm like, okay, then what are you doing? Take me through your day. What are you doing? Because I don't know of anything else, to be honest with you. I don't know. If I'm doing open houses, I'm calling the people that went to the open house the next day. If I'm getting Zillow leads, I'm calling every lead that I possibly get. If I'm doing Facebook ads, I'm calling the leads. I don't know what else we're doing unless we're just not selling real estate. And that's not going to end well.
Well, I come across it sometimes in our masterminds. You'll have a new agent who their very first question is, "How do I get more business?" And like the second question is, how do I keep up with everything that needs to be done? And it's like, well, hold on. Your first question was like you're hurting for clients. You only have two clients, right? So what are you doing with your time? How would somebody like you, Ricky, could you walk me through as a guy who's doing only 80 transactions this year, only running one of the biggest coaching programs in the country and all these live events? I mean, what's your day to day look like so you don't fall behind on something? How are you organizing your schedule, if you wouldn't mind uh, sharing? Because you're doing a lot, man. And I see it, and me personally, I'm starting to feel overwhelmed with everything I got going on, and I can confidently say I'm doing a fraction of what you're doing. So walk me through it, man. Like, what's your
Tru-
philosophy towards what gets done and
Yeah,
what can wait?
trust me, bro. It's I'm maxed out over here. I mean, like, so for one, I've got my real estate sales business, which I'm still just trucking along here, like I don't have anything better to do. And then I'm building my organization, right? My team. That's a whole nother avenue. Just I'm the CEO of an ISA company, Partnership RE, where we cold call for agents and set listing appointments. This is a massive company already that I'm running. Um, I where I'm revamping my coaching program where there's going to be a 60-day challenge instead of the 90-day action plan, and we're actually going to offer free one-on-one coaching where I'm going to have certified coaches under me, coaching agents for free one-on-one. Um, I'm studying for my mortgage test, to get my mortgage license, because in the first quarter of 2022, we're projected anyway to open up our own mortgage enterprise, if you will.
Oh, are we leaking
Uh,
that now? I thought I wasn't allowed to talk about that. Is this the
Well,
inside
I mean,
scoop? The mortgage business is coming?
that's just a little
Everyone's been
birdie,
telling me to
right?
keep it hush hush, Ricky. I think you just leaked
That
it.
that's just a little birdie, right? And nobody really knows what we're up to behind the scenes. But there's so many things, right? Like I don't have time to work on my website to create the new 60-day challenge. I don't have time to study for my mortgage test, because I've got back to back to back to back to back meetings. I went to a listing appointment today after a closing, came back to back Zooms, IG lives, coaching calls, just one thing after another all day long. And that's why I was saying, man, like I'm at this point where I'm really trying to establish, bro, who I am and what I want. I don't have like a 5 year, this is what I want my life to look like right now, honestly, because like I'm just a grinder and I'm just like, good things will happen. Euphoria is coming if I just keep grinding it out, and it will. But what does that look like, man? Because when I'm knocking down 3 million a month and just income that I can sleep all day and that's still coming in, what then? You know what I mean? Like that's
Yep.
where I am with my life, is like 3 million a month coming in income wise doesn't excite me, bro. It doesn't. The money, dude, I lost 200,000. You know this. I got hacked
Yeah.
for 200,000 in crypto last month and didn't even blink an eye. Not because I have a bunch of money, bro. That was like a chunk of my net worth. It was because money doesn't do it for me. When I cut off YouTube ad revenue and I'm spending money on these things and like tired because I flew all day and this, that, and the other, like money is not where it's at for me. Like I can go to sleep right now and wake up to 20 million a year in income, personal income. Right now, I could shut off dude. I could erase my social medias, go to sleep, wake up, boom, 4 years from now, loaded. That's not the thing. All that stuff's already in motion for me. So I'm literally like, who am I and what do I really want out of life? What's my definition of success? What's my definition of happiness? Like where's the peace? So when I'm going through my day, right, it's Tasmanian devil style, where I have my scheduled appointments, and then I have my spur of the moment calls that come in from clients and agents and so on and so forth. So, man, I do the best I can do. And at the end of the day, whatever didn't get done. Now, I'll give you guys a couple tricks of the trade. When I start my day, I sit down and I call it meditating about my business, but I'm not really meditating. I'm just taking a moment to to find clarity and make a list of everything I have going on, projects, listings, schedule, deals, agents, everything. And I want to know everything on one scratch sheet of paper. Okay. Then I just execute because everything's there. I don't have to think anymore. And then when it comes 3 o'clock, I want to revisit that and I want to see, okay, what's the 5 things that I have to do before 5 o'clock to where I can forget about everything else and still have some kind of peace for the rest of the day where I'm not thinking about, oh, I promised so and so I was going to email them or promised so and so I'd call them or something like that. I need to identify what those things are around 3 o'clock so that I can knock those things out. Where at 5 o'clock, when I knock off, I don't have anything that's lingering in my mind, like, what did I forget? That
Mhm.
helps me a lot. Turn it off at 5 o'clock as much as I can and kind of relax the rest of the day and knowing, okay, I'll get back after in the morning because you'll never get to the bottom of your list.
By the way, that's a for anyone not in the know, 5 o'clock for you is a 13-hour. It's a 13-hour workday. You're up in the gym by 4 o'clock, right?
I am, man. I am. And that's something else too. Like a couple weeks ago before I did my Connecticut event, I told myself, I was like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Right? Financially secure. Like, why am I getting up at 4 o'clock and like like at 5 o'clock I'm dead trying to spend time with the family? I was like, I'm gonna sleep in till 7. I'm gonna go to the gym at 9. I'm gonna start working at 12. That was my thought process. And I did it for a week. That week before I went to Connecticut, I literally did that. And I was like, this is my new life. This is my new life. And, of course, when I got back from Connecticut, it was like catching up from Connecticut and getting ready to go to Vegas the next week. My wife's birthday was that Thursday. We come back from Vegas, and it's my daughter's second birthday that day. Now, this week after Vegas, I'm getting caught up from last week. So I'm right back into the waking up at 4 something, getting to the gym, crushing it. Like I go in there and work out like I'm in the military, bro. Like
Mhm.
I'm not playing around when I go in that gym. I'm focused on lifting weights and working out. It's a serious situation for me, man. It's like part of my release.
All right, Ricky, you
Um,
got to stop because sometimes I don't even come in here to say good morning until 11:30 in the morning. So you're making me look really bad here.
and I get
Sleeping
those.
until
I get
7
those.
is a luxury for you? Come on.
Oh yeah, bro. No doubt. It's like, dude, if I because like I'm used to getting up at 4:30, something like that. So, when I'm sleeping until 7, you got to realize that's 3 extra hours.
Oh yeah.
That hours of sleep. So yeah, dude, I'm just guys, listen, I am literally trying to figure out who I am, what I want, and trying to grow into a more leadership position. I've never been in this position before, where I'm having to be a leader. And I have an opportunity in front of me where I can really make a big difference in the world, and I'm not going to let it pass. And it's all going to have to start with me becoming a better person and growing. You know, growing personally.
Well, again, Ricky, one of the reasons I respect and like you is because you are yourself and you are genuine. And again, a lot of coaches or people, really entrepreneurs in your position, aren't willing to share those vulnerabilities because they feel like it somehow detracts from their brand. But I think it just builds your brand perfectly,
I
man.
learned I
I
learned a
know I'm
long
good.
time. No, I learned a long time ago that when you and I don't this is not why I do it. I do it because this is real. But I learned a long time ago that in the world of communication and showing people that you care about them, you've got to open up and be vulnerable. And when you do that, they feel like they can be vulnerable and open up to you, and it creates a bond. Um, and it makes people respect you. And again, it's not why I do it. That's just the repercussions of being who I am. But all I can be is me, and all I can do is say what's on my mind, you know?
Well, Ricky, I promised you we wouldn't keep you here long, and I did want to get some Q&A. Um, so we're gonna do it this way, guys. We have the channel questions for Ricky, and some of you had already posted some questions in there. Some of them Ricky's kind of already answered. Some of them I've kind of weaved into the discussion here. But you do have the ability to raise your hand. So if you wanted to get up here and ask Ricky a question live and in person, do me a favor and click the hand raise button right now. All right, we got one person. Only one person, guys? We'll let John come up. Ricky, you cool with that if I bring some audience members up to talk to you? Pick your
Oh,
brain a little?
100%.
All right,
100%.
let's go. And anybody who wants to come up, just raise your hand, and we'll get to you. But just keep your questions nice and concise, and we're going to try and get to as many people as possible. John, come on up. Just sent you an invite to speak.
There we go. Ricky, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm great, bro. I'm great.
Excellent, excellent. Well, hey, listen, man. I actually called you on a live stream about 3 months ago, and my
Hmm.
question was like, when do I take a break, and when do I go on vacation, and when do I
Hmm.
go and drink in Miami with my buddies? I'm sure you probably remember. It was about kite surfing.
Hmm.
Uh, but I mean, I've been eating shit for the last couple of months, man, and I've had the most fun I've ever had, I think, in my entire life. And I've listed $2.7 million in new listings in the last 3 months, and it's huge for me. So I just really wanted to thank you. I appreciate you so much what you're doing, man. You're a true luminary in the business. So thank you.
Oh man, that's humbling to hear, and yeah, that's good, man. Just try to keep your wits about you, and always think long term. Like 5 years, 10 years is going to go by so fast, and it's just going to be a blink of an eye. And I don't want you to look back with regret or that you missed an opportunity. There's the world is moving so fast, man. Like when I was coming up, that shit was slow compared to now. Now is like it's moving at like rocket speed, and technology and applications and social media and communication and everything is moving so fast. NFTs and crypto, and the way that everything is going down. You know, take a look at, like, take time for yourself, bro, to take a step back for a second. This is something I never did. Take a moment to step back once a week or something, and really take like a bird's eye view of the world, okay, and everything that's happening, and just think about it for a second, and use that information to think about how you can use the opportunities that are here today, right, to really create some massive things for yourself over the next 5 years, 10 years, and think about where you're going to be in 5 years, because it's going to happen so fast.
Right.
you know you need to be in a position of power where you're taking advantage of these massive opportunities,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
just keep your head on straight.
Well, I appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, it feels like I talked to you yesterday, and it's been 3 months.
Yeah,
But yeah, listen,
exactly.
my question for you, man, was I guess now, I mean, I'm 21 years old. I got my first three listings, 2.7 million since I last talked to you. Um, and I just wanted to know if I want to move and shake in this business for real, and I guess really like change the conversation of kind of like an older real estate sales population in my area, with retirement community, average age is 63. What are some things that I can do to provide exponentially more value than anybody else? Like, what do you feel like you do that provides the most value to other people in real estate sales?
Mm. Look, this is what you have to understand, bro, is that it's not about like the tangible value that you feel like you should have, to give to people. Okay. Honestly, bro, the value is you and your personality and the fact that you care. Okay. And this is a volume game. Okay. It's like great quality relationships, care
Yeah.
about people, spend time with them. But I promise you, to get to the promised land that you want to go to, at some point it has to be about volume, not just quality, right? And so within volume, you look at Walmart, Amazon, Apple, all these companies, the way that they create wealth is not by quality of transactions, right? Do you have a great experience every time you go to Walmart with the cashier, or every
Definitely
time
not.
you buy something from Amazon, or every time that you do a deal with Apple? No, it's not the quality for them. They are working on volume, little bit on millions of transactions. Okay. And so you need to think about how can you balance within your database the quality that they feel like and know that you care about them, but you're still playing the volume game. And that's where my weekly email comes into play, because you can send the weekly email and personalize it where you're giving them part of your personality, even though it's on a bulk level and scale. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so don't think about how you can bring value, because the value is you. What you need to think about are the thousands of conversations you've got to have with people in your market before you get to your goal. That's all you need to be concerned about. You'll figure out the value. You'll figure out who loves the way that you carry yourself and how you operate in the business. Like when you probably, even as young as you are and as little time as you've had in the industry, do you have a go-to lender?
I don't. I'm not even sure I could. Chris
Well,
Ruby's his name.
this is
I didn't even know his name for a second.
this is what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Okay, you will find a lender that you can't live without. They're going
Yeah.
to do every deal so smooth for you and take care of your client so well. Okay, and you're going to have that lender in place that you send every single buyer to. All
Right.
right, and then here comes along another lender who wants to steal your business. Right, not your business, but steal you away from the other. And they're going to say, "Give me a shot." And as good as you think that they might be, you're not going to want to risk your client, your next client, on to try them out. You're going to go right to the lender that 100% is going to give your customer, your client, the best service. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just how it's going to be. And so what you got to understand is that you can create the same effect with your clients. Whereas once they do a deal with you and realize how great of an agent that you really are, they're never going to risk doing a deal with anybody else, because they know over here there's a guarantee of a great success rate. See what I'm saying?
Right. 100%.
And so it's not a matter of value in terms of what can I give them, what can I do, and tangible wise. It's about the feeling that they get when they talk to you and work with you. That's the value.
Yeah. Yeah. So just abundantly connect and just love at mass scale.
Yes, there you go. Scale your personality.
Okay. Got you, bud. Hey man, you're playing for legacy, brother. You're in the ring with these guys, Gary Vaynerchuk, and God bless you. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming up, John. Sir Calloway, what's up, brother?
Hey guys, Ricky, thank you so much for doing this. I guess my follow-up question is to what you just said. So when you're trying to scale everything, how do you ensure that, like, I'm a broker, so I've got agents underneath me. How do I ensure that when I pass those deals along to my agents, that my clients still feel the same value that they get from me from other people?
They're not going to, and that's the downfall of building a team, building a brokerage, and starting to pass your clients off. They're never going to get that same exact feeling. It's like a fingerprint. Everyone's business is like a fingerprint, and how you operate is like a fingerprint. No two are alike. They're going to have to feel a connection, a personal connection with that next agent, just as they did you, just differently, just a different connection, but the same level of connection. And I mean, one thing that you can do is maybe have a meeting with the clients and the agent, and all sit and talk together, or do a three-way call, or do a Zoom or something like that, to where you're kind of passing the torch, in the presence of the client. And make sure they don't have any concerns or any questions and stuff like that, and try to make them feel as comfortable as possible. But they're never going to feel the same as if it were you. And that's been the big struggle for me. I'm still a single agent, in terms of my real estate sales business. And like, I'm at the point where I'm like, I need to do a team and just step away from sales. I still can't do it, because my clients, it's like, I feel like I'm letting them down, because they want me to handle it, and I'm sitting here thinking, but it's Saturday and I got a daughter and I don't have to sell property to pay my bills, but I grew up roofing houses. And so there's that part of my upbringing that says, don't you walk away from money. Don't you for a second walk away from money. You may remember where you came from, throwing away $10,000, $20,000 like it ain't nothing, And so, I don't know, man. That's a difficult question, and there's so many dynamics behind the agents you're passing the clients to, and how they communicate, and what their real intentions are. Are they going to put their clients' needs ahead of their own? There's a lot of stuff going on there, but hopefully this helps you a little bit. And, just I would try to set up a call with everyone and just to try to pass the torch in the presence of, and, make sure they feel comfortable about it.
That's totally helpful. I really appreciate the advice.
Yeah, bud.
Thanks for coming up, Callaway. Kyle.
Hey,
What's up,
Luca. Hey,
homie?
Ricky. Thank you, Ricky, for taking the time. So just kind of a piggyback to Sir Callaway's question, but on the team note, I have a few agents on my team. They're all very good. I'm always looking to add to my team, and I'm always like kind of, I always just kind of am worried who am I going to bring on, and how do I motivate the people on my team, and kind of where do you start, and how do you identify kind of motivating factors, like what's the best way to motivate your team?
Yeah, no, I like this one. And honestly, bro, as you build your team and, deal with people and see how those stories play out as you bring people onto the team and how they operate, and if they quit, you'll start to, have a nose for recognizing talent a little better. But it's tough in real estate because a long time ago, I quit trying to identify who I thought was going to be a superstar and who I thought was going to be a loser, because a lot of the people I thought were going to be losers ended up being big winners. I'm talking big, big winners. And some of the people I thought were going to be huge winners were complete losers. And it's still true today. Like, I still just, I've seen the story play so many times. I keep an arm's length from, trying to categorize them as a winner or a loser from the beginning. And I just let the story play out. I never know. So to answer your question, how do you motivate, your team and stuff like that? So, there's the part where you can't really identify who's going to be a winner or loser until they actually get in the game and play the game for a good year, because they could come in and sell some stuff quick and then crash and burn, or they could not sell anything for 6 months and then be the biggest producer you've ever seen. So you just never know. But how they handle the losses is going to show you a lot about who they are. But in terms of motivating them, bro, listen, if you need to be motivated, that's a red flag right there, right? If you need to be motivated, that's a red flag right there. I've got a problem now. If you need motivation, if you're not just organically motivated by just the sheer opportunity that's right, dude. If you would have told me when I was a teenager, that I was going to make millions of dollars just talking to people on a phone in an air conditioned office, just seeing how they're doing today and seeing what I can do to help them, I would have slapped you so hard and told you that you are the funniest guy on earth. The opportunity that you have right in front of you to be just a communicator, and that's what you do for a living, and you have the opportunity to make millions of dollars just communicating to people in the market to see what you can do to help and to use your services to help them and their family and everyone they know and help them multiple times in your career, and that doesn't motivate you when last week we're mopping floors or flipping burgers or roofing houses, and this doesn't motivate you, then I have a problem right now, right? That's and you're not going to prevent the winners from winning. It doesn't matter what the scenario is. The winners are going to go win. And the losers are going to go lose. The losers are going to say this year, inventory too low. The losers are going to say next year, inventory too high. The losers are going to find an excuse in the market to lean on and to use as a scapegoat when they're not producing at the level that they don't even want to produce at any kind of level. They're just like there. But the winners, they ain't gonna say nothing. They're just gonna go win. They're self-motivated people. So I would say, if people need motivation, they're probably not they're probably not team material. But I get what you're saying because like you're doing a traditional team, I'm guessing, right? Where like they come in and maybe give them leads and take half their money kind of deal.
Yeah. We have a bunch of we have a great lead gen where we just
No, I
basically
understand.
they're
Let's
spoiled
No,
go
with
easy
very
on
good
him,
leads.
Ricky.
no, I get it. I get it.
I
It's
hear you.
a
Yeah.
bunch of great leads. That model, you may need some motivation because top producers are not going to be in that environment. This is a traditional team model, whereas top producers come in, learn everything they can from you, and leave quickly because they're tired of giving you 50%. And so you may end up being, a team of leaders, saying it nicely. Those people may need a lot of motivation. So, and I'm not talking against people that are on teams that love giving up 50%, stuff like that. Some people are born for that kind of thing. I'm just saying that if someone needs motivation, really sit down and think about that for a second, what that might mean, guys, because man, you have hit the jackpot of all jackpot of careers, right? And now I got to go motivate you. So just turn on my YouTube, man, and just play it every morning.
No, I'll do that. Thank you for the advice. I guess one last question is a follow up. I mean, I agree with the motivation. There's no excuses. I've worked since I was like 12 years old, doing whatever I could, right? And I hear you exactly. I hear exactly what you're saying. Part of me sometimes feels like they don't know what they're doing in some regards, and they have to learn by failing. And my biggest struggle is like, hey, do I need to help them along? And not so much always motivate, but maybe help them along in some regard
Yeah.
to get them there. And like, at what point? What's the point where I'm helping them to their benefit, and then where does that end? Where I'm now motivating them because they should know more, or they don't know enough, or
Yeah.
that's kind
No,
of where I
no.
struggle.
This is another great question, and two, you got to understand, I've got a growing organization of almost 900 agents, and for so long I've dealt with the same dilemma in terms of, okay, I can't get to all 900 of them. How, like, there's people in that organization that need me and need my attention and need my expertise and need consultation and all this stuff. Um, and so now what, right? And so you have more of a smaller team, local team kind of atmosphere, but you're going through the same stuff. You're kind of like, where do I draw the line in the sand between, training them, motivating them behind things and it comes back to what I just said. The winners are going to go win. Whether like in 2015, I hired a coach, right? I wanted to make $1 million. I wasn't going to make $1 million. I was really depressed kind of deal. And I was like, coach, here's a ton of money. Tell me how to do it. And that same coach, I was talking to him the other day. We're still incredible friends. And I only paid him for 4 months and really hadn't talked to him since. And then about a year or so ago, we rekindled and now have a great relationship. And this guy's a big name in the industry. And he said, we were talking about the same dilemma. And he said, Ricky, if you would have hired me as a coach, if you wouldn't have hired me, would you have succeeded? And I said, yes, massively. Nothing would have changed about anything in my business. Everything, I would have went on the same trajectory and everything would be exactly the same, whether I hired you or not. He said, there you go, right there. You're going to win, and winners are going to win no matter what. And the losers, they're going to find excuses and they're going to pick you apart. They're going to drain you of all your energy. And at the end of the day, what do you have? And so there's this dilemma where it's like, okay, how much time do you put into your team and the agents and the training, versus letting those winners go win and letting the losers weed themselves out. And I hate to say it like that, but it's just reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. This game makes no excuses. So I hear you, and thank you for the honesty.
It will chew you up, spit you out, and it will expose you. It will expose you, right? Like I said, this business, the premise is to talk to people you don't know to help them buy or sell real estate, right? and most people that get in this business won't do that. The exact thing that this business is built on, and it will expose the hell out of you and chew you up, spit you out. And I really don't wish it on many people, to be honest. It's like being an entrepreneur and trying to build businesses. You are a mini business. It's not to the degree of putting up hundreds of thousands of dollars to start a restaurant, but it's, you're taking some risk here. And most businesses don't make any money for a couple years. People are walking away from real estate after they don't sell anything in 6 months when they got in the bit, when they originally decided to choose this career, that they were going to be a 30-year agent. It's nuts.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the time. I really appreciate
Man.
it.
I just want you guys to take my content, my story, connect the dots and how you can use it to sidestep the mistakes I made, where you can build a more solid business faster, right? And bigger, right? So there's no shortcuts.
Yeah, man. And Ricky, I know I said I'd only take you for an hour, and I took you for an hour and 6 minutes. So if anyone else has any other questions, raise your hand now. Otherwise, I think I'll put a pin in this, man. And I just want to thank you, Ricky, for coming and being truly yourself here, man. And me and you'll be in touch on a lot of other stuff. So
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely,
again
man.
for coming,
No.
man.
Yeah,
I
no, I
appreciate
appreciate you guys listening. This was like a therapy session for me, just letting it all out. I'm sure it's not what you guys were expecting, but
No, dude, this is exactly what we want. I don't know what it is about this stage, but it makes people open up a little more. So
yeah,
can't
no,
get this
that
on
was
a
good.
podcast, baby.
There you go, man. There you go. You guys take care. Reach out to me if there's anything I could do to help you. And, you guys keep crushing it.
Hey, thanks, man. We'll be in
Yeah.
touch. You have a
Hey,
great
guys.
night. Take care.
Yeah.